On a cold November evening in downtown Los Angeles, the city buzzed with energy. Crowds rushed through the streets, their pace quickened by the chill in the air, which prompted many to bundle up in warm coats and thick scarves. Amid the hustle, a man sat quietly, almost invisible. His name was Jacob. He was perched on a weathered piece of cardboard near a busy intersection, clutching a small, worn backpack that held all his possessions. His face was etched with the lines of hardship, and his eyes held a deep sadness, reflecting dreams that had faded. 5 years ago, life had been different for Jacob. He had a stable job, a modest apartment, and a family by his side. Security and comfort were part of his everyday life, but life has a way of shifting unexpectedly. A sudden layoff shattered his stability, and soon after, his wife fell ill, piling on medical bills. Each new challenge weighed heavier until his wife passed away. Alone and lost, Jacob's world crumbled, and he spiraled into despair. The streets became his reality, and the vibrant city around him faded into a blur of indifference. As Jacob sat on the corner of Fifth and Main, wrapped in his thoughts, a car pulled up nearby, catching his attention. This was no ordinary vehicle. It was a sleek Tesla Cybertruck, its futuristic design drawing the gaze of passersby, even in a city filled with luxury cars. Jacob watched as the door swung open and a man stepped out with the air of confidence. The man wore jeans and a hoodie, yet there was something unmistakably familiar about him. Uh, sure, Jake, got with this car for you. Just send me your address. All right. What did you say? I'll be here to buy cars. At first, Jacob didn't recognize him, but after a moment, the truth hit him. It was Elon Musk. No way, Jacob muttered to himself in disbelief. Why would someone like Elon Musk be here in this part of the city? It struck him as odd. Elon surveyed the area with sharp eyes until they landed on Jacob. Without hesitation, he approached the man sitting on the ground. Hey there, Elon said, crouching down to meet Jacob's gaze. How's it going? Jacob was taken aback. Rarely did anyone acknowledge his presence, let alone speak to him so casually. It's going? Jacob replied uncertainly, wondering if this was some sort of joke. Elon smiled, a mixture of warmth and curiosity on his face. I'm Elon, he said, extending a hand toward Jacob. Jacob hesitated for a moment before shaking his hand, still somewhat bewildered. I know who you are, he said softly, but what are you doing here? Nodding. Elon chuckled lightly. Sometimes I like to escape the chaos. It helps me think. But tonight, I notice you. What's your name? Jacob, he responded, his weariness still evident. Why do you care? Elon's expression shifted from casual to serious. He leaned in closer and said, because everyone has a story, and something tells me yours is worth hearing. In that moment, something stirred inside Jacob. He realized he was ready to share. For the next hour, he opened up about his life before the streets, when he had a loving wife, a steady job, and hopes for the future. That life seemed like a distant memory now, one that had crumbled piece by piece. As Jacob spoke, he shared his loneliness and the stigma he faced daily. The struggle to survive felt unbearable, and tears began to form in his eyes. But he didn't wipe them away. He let them fall, feeling safe in Elon's presence. Elon listened intently, nodding from time to time, but never interrupting Jacob's flow of thoughts. The noise of the city faded into the background as Jacob poured out his heart. Though the distance between them seemed vast, they shared a connection rooted in human experience. When Jacob finished, silence hung in the air. After a moment, Elon broke it. You've been through a lot, he said slowly, more than most people could handle. Jacob shrugged, dismissing the weight of his experiences. It is what it is. No one's coming to save me. I've learned to stop hoping. Elon's eyes narrowed, a spark igniting in them. What if I told you I could help? Just let out a bitter laugh. Help? You mean like giving me a few bucks? Don't waste your time. I'm a lost cause. Elon shook his head firmly. I'm not talking about spare change. I'm offering a real chance to turn things around. But it will take hard work. Are you in? Jacob stared at Elon, trying to read his expression. There was something genuine in his voice, something Jacob couldn't ignore. What's the catch? He asked, still cautious. No catch, Elon replied, just hard work and trust. The next day marked the beginning of a change Jacob had never dreamed possible. Elon arranged for him to stay in a hotel just until he got on his feet. First things first, Elon told him, You need to feel human again. Jacob could hardly believe the help he was receiving. Each small step began to fill him with hope he thought he had lost forever. The journey wouldn't be easy, but for the first time in years, he felt ready to face it. Elon Musk saw potential in Jacob that others overlooked. He didn't just offer advice, he took action. He arranged for Jacob to meet with a career counselor who could guide him to better opportunities and enrolled him in a skills training program designed to teach practical skills in demand. You've got potential, Elon told him confidently. We just need to unlock it. Jacob fully committed to the program, and as he learned about renewable energy and electric vehicles, subjects he had never explored before, he found himself fascinated. During a visit to check on his progress, Elon complimented him. You're a quick learner, he said. Maybe you've got a future at Tesla. Jacob laughed off the suggestion, but the idea took root, sparking a flicker of hope that had long been extinguished. As months passed, Jacob underwent a remarkable transformation. No longer was he the broken man on the street. He found a steady job and secured a place to live. His sense of self-worth grew as he began to see his own value. But Elon had more plans for him. One evening, Elon invited Jacob to a prestigious Tesla event where the room was filled with industry leaders and celebrities. Jacob, feeling out of place in his simple suit, appreciated Elon's reassurance. You belong here, Elon insisted, making Jacob feel visible for the first time in years. During the event, Elon took the stage. After presenting Tesla's latest advancements, he paused and smiled at the audience. I want to introduce you all to someone special, he announced. A man who embodies resilience and the power of a second chance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jacob. The crowd erupted in applause as Jacob nervously made his way to the stage. His hands shook, anxiety flooding his mind, but seeing Elon's encouraging smile gave him the courage to speak. I don't know what to say, Jacob began, his voice trembling. A few months ago, I was invisible, just another homeless guy on the street. But this man, he gestured to Elon, saw me. He believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. And because of that, I'm standing here today. Tears streamed down Jacob's face as the audience stood to their feet, clapping and cheering for him. Elon stepped forward, placing a steady hand on Jacob's shoulder. Jacob's story isn't over, he said with conviction. In fact, it's just beginning. To help him on this journey, I want to give him something that represents the future. Elon handed Jacob a set of keys. This is your Tesla Model 3, he announced, fully paid off, with charging covered for life. It's not just a car, it represents where you're headed. Stunned, Jacob's jaw dropped as the crowd erupted in cheers. He turned to Elon, his voice barely a whisper. Why me? Elon smiled warmly. Because everyone deserves a second chance, and you've shown you're ready to make the most of it. Jacob's journey didn't end with a car and a job. His story became a beacon of hope for others, inspiring individuals worldwide to share their struggles and victories. Jacob began volunteering at shelters, sharing his experiences and offering hope to those still feeling lost. Through it all, he remained humble, never forgetting the compassionate man who stopped to learn his name on that cold November evening. Elon Musk didn't just give Jacob a car. He gave him the chance to rewrite his life story. This act of kindness became a powerful reminder that sometimes all it takes to change a life is a little faith and a lot of compassion. Just when things seemed hopeless for Elon, it became clear that his story had more to tell than just one night.